Today I've got the SetPower DT45. This is an excellent little portable fridge freezer combo that's a part of a new lineup from SetPower. This has got lots of features and upgrades from their previous models. So stick around, I'm going to tell you why this might be one of the best portable fridge freezer combos on the market, especially at the price point that this sells at. Let's start by going over the details and the specs for the DT series. There's 3 different models in the DT series. There's a DT35, DT45, DT55. The length and the width of each of those is all the same. The only thing that differs is the height. So the length and the width on each of them is 24.6 inches by 15.9 inches. And then the DT35 is 17.1 inches. The DT45 is 19.8 inches. And then the DT55 is 22.6 inches. The 35 is 38.1 pounds. The 45 is 42.1 pounds. And the 55 is 44.3 pounds. In the box with this, you'll get a DC cable for your cigarette lighter, an AC cable for a wall plug-in, 4 tie-down brackets, which are these little guys right here, and I'll show you what they're used for in just a second. And then you get a wire basket. On their website, it says the wire basket's included for a limited time. I hope that that's just something that they'll make standard because it's really nice to be able to pull stuff out of there. There's a max and a min operating mode on this. The max operates at about 50 watts and the min operates at about 38 watts. What most people recommend is plugging this in at home with the AC cable, getting it cooled down to your desired temperature, and then moving it over to your vehicle, plugging it in with your cigarette lighter or your battery pack, whatever you're using to power this. This thing is crazy efficient. It cools down really fast. It gets down to about 32 degrees in 15 minutes on max mode. The insulation layer on it is very thick. It's about 57 millimeter thick insulation. So like I said, very efficient, cools down very quickly, and then it stays cool. Once it gets down to temperature, I've had it plugged into my Jackery and I can see how much wattage it's using, and it operates at less than that 38 wattage for most of the time once it's already down to temperature. This DT45 has a 48 quart capacity. It's got 2 individual compartments that are independently controlled of their temperature. So you can have one that runs as a freezer, one that runs as a fridge. You can run them both as a freezer, you can run them both as a fridge, you can run different temperatures. So you've got a lot of different options of how you want to use this thing. From what I've seen, most people use the smaller side as their freezer and then their larger side as their fridge, but you can really do whatever you want to. The temperature range from this is -4 degrees all the way up to 66 degrees. So again, a lot of different options of how you want to use this. The larger side has got a ton of space in it. This is just a quick overnight trip for me, so I don't have a ton of stuff in there. You know, I've got a half-gallon milk jug in there. I've got some eggs. I brought some steak with me last night, some drinks. You can see how easily you could store food for 4 to 5 days as an individual person camping, or with the family. I think you could get 2 to 3 days out of this pretty easily. So this 45 quart size is kind of the good middle range between somebody who goes out with a family but then also is camping by themselves for multiple days. The exterior of this is really rugged, nice hard durable material. The latches are very heavy duty. You can hear a nice click when that shuts so that you know that it's completely shut and you're not going to lose any cold air. This has a SmartTel compressor built into it, and that compressor is super quiet. It runs about 35 decibels. It's running right now. You can see that it's on. I doubt you can even hear it. Like, I'll put the microphone right up next to it. I can't even hear it, and I'm sitting right next to it. So when you turn it on max mode for the first time and it's cooling down, you can hear the fan kick on. Once it gets down to temperature, it operates at a really, really quiet noise level. I just unplugged it so you could hear that compressor kick on. And this is about as loud as it gets right here. That's with the microphone right up next to it. There's a 3-year warranty on that compressor and a 1-year warranty on all other parts to the fridge freezer. What I like to see from a company is that they listen to feedback from the customers. Previous generations, but there's been a few things that people have suggested that they fix, and with this model, they definitely did. There's now an interior LED on both sides. So as soon as you open that up, there's light that shines right in there. So at night, you can see what you're grabbing out of there. Everything's lit up really nice. When I used it last night in the dark, I could see everything in there perfectly. So that interior LED is a really nice function, especially when you're grabbing stuff out of there at night. Previously in the past, they've had handles on it. Now they just kind of have this recessed area on the side that's a handle that you can fit your fingers in there and pick it up. So that's really nice because those handles are plastic and they tend to break. One of the main things that they changed with this is they now include these 4 tie-down brackets. So here on the side, there's a couple bolts. You loosen those up and then you can slide these in there and now you have tie down points. It does not come with the tie down straps, so just be aware of that. But if you're overlanding, going somewhere that's pretty rough roads and you're worried about this tipping over, you don't have to worry about that anymore. Previously in the past, people would just tie down straps to the handles and those ended up breaking. So they kind of addressed both problems in this model. So now you just have the recessed handles and now you get the 4 tie down brackets, which is awesome. Like I said earlier, it does come now with a wire basket. Again, I hope that that's just something that they make standard on all of their models moving forward, because it's nice to just reach in there, pull that wire basket out. And the larger side now does come with a drainage plug. So if you get some water collection or something in there spills, then there is a drainage plug that you can drain without having to tip this over, because you don't want to tip that over with that compressor in there. That drainage plug is only on the larger side though. There is no drainage plug on the smaller side. Like I said, with the AC, DC cables that they include with this, you've got a lot of different options of how you want to run it. Last night and today, I've been running it off my 12-volt battery that I use for my trolling motor. That's a 100 amp hour battery. So theoretically, if you're running at 35 watts, you can run that for a long period of time. I have a little Jackery 300 and I plugged this into it and set it outside in the hot sun to see how long it would last. And it drained that little Jackery 300 in about 7 hours. So not bad if you needed it in a pinch, but definitely want to have something that will last you a little bit longer. You can run this off of your car battery through the cigarette lighter. There's 3 levels of battery protection on here. There's high, middle, and low. So it'll shut the fridge off if it gets to a point where it's draining your battery. I prefer to run it off of something that's not connected to my vehicle, just so that I'm not worried about draining my battery and being stranded somewhere. But if you're driving somewhere and you've got it plugged into your cigarette lighter, that's obviously just fine. Or if you're just doing a quick overnight trip, I wouldn't worry about it too much, especially with the battery protection on there. One thing to note is you do have to hold the on-off button for about 3 seconds before it'll turn off or turn on. That's a nice feature as well, because you don't want something to accidentally bump up against that on and off button and shut it off. You actually have to hold it down for 3 seconds to turn it off and then turn it back on. One of the main new features that they've included with this SetPower DT series is you can control this from an app. So it's got a little QR code right here on the front. You scan that with your phone, it'll open up an app. You download that from the App Store, and then you can control that remotely. I can see the 2 compartments on there, and I can choose which side I want to control. I can set the temperature right here, so I can move that up or down and do that all right from your phone. So if you're driving and you're worried about your fridge in the back, is it still running? You can control it from your phone. You can always pull up your phone and make sure that it's still on, because if it's not got battery power to it, then it wouldn't connect to your phone anymore. So that's a really nice feature right there. One thing that I've noticed so far is where this panel is located on the front. It makes sense where they put it, but it is a little bit difficult to read when you're kind of looking at it from an angle, or if it's sitting down lower and in the bright sunlight, then those numbers get fairly difficult to read. You can bypass that now completely by using the app, so that's not a huge deal. But it's just something that I've noticed. It's a little bit difficult to read those numbers on there, especially if you're looking at it from an angle. Another very minor issue is that wire basket is a little bit difficult to pull out of there. I kind of have to line it up perfectly with both my hands and get it out of there. It kind of catches on the sides. I've looked at other people's videos and it doesn't seem to do that for them, so I don't know if it's just the shape of the wire basket that I got for this one, or they put more insulation. I don't know, whatever. But I can see where that might be a little bit annoying, especially when that wire basket's full of food and you're trying to take it out of there in one swift motion. Like, you really kind of got to wedge it a little bit in order to get it out of there completely. Other than that, guys, I am super impressed with this SetPower DT45. I'm really excited to use it on future trips. And like I said, this is kind of a game changer for me. I've just been using a cooler, and one of the main advantages that this has over something like a cooler is you don't have to put any ice in it. So when it says 48 quarts, you get to use all 48 quarts within this. You're not putting extra volume in there by adding the ice. When that ice melts in the cooler, it gets a little heavy, wobbly. All your food and stuff in there gets wet, so you got to keep things in baggies. That's not the case with this. Everything stays nice and clean and dry in there. You can control exactly the temperatures that you want. So if you're bringing meat that you're going to use in a few days from now and it's frozen, you can keep it frozen until that time. So definitely a big upgrade from just using a cooler, which I have been using for my trips. And, you know, I'll go out for a week at a time, and you have to go stop in at the store a few times during that week, depending on the temperature, to restock with ice and drain your water and stuff. So this will be a lot cleaner and simpler moving forward for me. A huge thank you to SetPower for sending this to me. It's one of those things that you didn't know that you needed until you got it, and now I'll be using this a ton moving forward. I love camping out of my truck, and this is really a huge upgrade to what I've been doing so far. Now for the price point, this is a very affordable fridge freezer combo. This one specifically comes in at about $369. I believe. If I'm wrong, I'll put that in the video description here. But that's a very affordable option for getting a really nice fridge freezer combo. The folks at SetPower did give me a discount code for you guys to use as well. So the discount code is Tregs Travels. If you go on their website, you can use that. I'll also have the links to this on Amazon if you want to check it out on Amazon. If you use that link or that code, I do get a small commission, but that helps me to keep growing this channel and keep making review videos for you guys. So I appreciate it. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this one. If you guys got any questions, let me know down in the video comments. If you're subscribed to my channel, then you'll be seeing a lot more of this as I take this out on different camping trips. So thank you guys very much for tuning into another review video. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to press the like button and subscribe for more. I appreciate you all so much. We'll see you all next time. Thanks everyone.